Once upon a time, in a society where men were taught to hide their tears and pains lived Tunji. He was a man of his words, strong, loyal and dedicated to his high school lover, Damilola. Though they were both from a very wretched background, but Tunji loved Damilola so much that he could do anything for her. Tunji always sneaked out of school to work on people's farmland in order to raise money to support Dami. He took care of her needs despite his struggles. His friend Derele would always question the extent he was willing to go just to please Damilola, doing all sort of hard labor to satisfy her outrageous demand. But Tunji turned deaf ears because love conquered all things. Tunji was motivated to leave the village to a bigger city after their SSCA in search of a greener pasture. He struggled so much in the city of Ibadan. His uncle he relied on that sent for him was living from hand to mouth. Tunji was so disappointed, but his mom, Mrs. Ola, was of great support and encouragement. Tunji struggled his way into getting a job in a restaurant as a waiter. He diligently performed his duty without sluggishness, with respect and elegance. Everyone liked and appreciated him. Grace found Tunji when he found, traced and returned the file of a customer that contained travel credentials and dollars. Sir Raymond, shocked by Tunji's honesty, promised to reward him. After some months, the customer reached out to Tunji, sent him a link and guided him through the process. Just like a movie, Tunji got a Canadian visa. All expense paid by Sir Raymond. Heaven kissed the earth the day Tunji shared the good news with his family. His mom danced like never before. In her words, who could have thought that something good will come out of my family? Tunji, you've wiped my tears. I am proud of you. Tunji promised his mom he would erase their family name from poverty. When Tunji broke the good news to his girlfriend Damilola, she didn't take it in good faith. She wept and wept as she concluded Tunji will eventually abandon her for rich, beautiful white women. She said, Tunji, you said come rain, come shine, you will be with me. But now you are running away. You can't settle in the village like every other person. You can't even settle in the big city in Ibadan. Why are you running? What are you looking for that you cannot find here in this village? Tunji tried all his efforts to assure and reassure Damilola of his timeless love for her. He said, Dami, I am doing all this because I want to give you a luxury life, a life that you deserved. I want our kids to have comforts, to grow up in an environment that they will feel safe. Trust me, I will never abandon you for another woman. God forbid. Tunji swore by her, heaven and earth. He finally arrived Canada. It wasn't bed of roses, but it was worth it, owing to the fact that he wasn't educated. He started work after some days at the factory, since he arrived on a work visa. Mr. Raymond was rest assured he could handle himself because he's a strong boy. He does 2 jobs constantly for years. No social lives, no clubbing, just hustle. Tunji hustled like his life depended on it. He barely spent any dollar on himself as he sent back all his earnings to invest in landed properties. His mom was his manager and his bag. Tunji made sure that Damilola went back to school, studied cybersecurity and did other professional courses. He equally funded her desired luxury lifestyle while in school, got her a car and made sure she lacked nothing. He equally sent upkeep on monthly basis to Dami's mom. Tunji was indeed a man of his words and more. Within 5 years, he secured his permanent residency, accomplished almost 80% of his dreams. Tunji decided it was time to visit home and legally married his old school girlfriend, Damilola. Dami came to receive him at the airport. Tunji was celebrated by everyone, including his peers. His mom felt really fulfilled and blessed. Dami was the envy of all the girls in the village, as she doesn't hesitate to flash her luxury lifestyle. Their wedding was like a carnival. Everything was surplus. Indeed, poverty has been defeated in Tunji's household. Few weeks after the wedding, Tunji traveled back to Canada, while he'd fight for his lawfully wedded wife, Damilola, to come join him. As soon as Tunji left for Canada, Damilola demanded all the property documents of her husband's from her mother-in-law, Tunji's mom. Tunji's mom refused, and that caused a very big disagreement between Tunji and his mom, as he eventually sided with his wife. Damilola's long-awaited visa finally granted. It was a joyous moment for the couple, mostly Tunji, who cannot wait to finally cuddle and make sweet love every morning to his wife to compensate for all the loneliness and sweetness he has deprived himself of all through the years, and to start making babies as he has always dreamed of. Finally, I need to bet my 3 kids before I clock 37, he said to himself anxiously. Damilola successfully arrived in Canada. She was marveled at the life that awaits her, the endless possibilities, beauty and peace. She screamed as she touched the white snows. Tunji was so happy to see her, extremely happy. He couldn't stop showing her off to his friends and colleagues, taking her to historic places. They were happy. Dami, do you remember when I promised you luxury or nothing? Tunji asked while looking at her eyeball to eyeball. Few months later, Dami got a well-paying job. Due to her qualification, which was all structured and planned by Tunji the moment he asked her to go back to school. As time goes on, Damilola totally detached from Tunji. She can't stand him anymore, as she sees every opportunity to yell at him and call him a dirty factory worker and a cleaner. She complained he smelled of sweat and couldn't allow him to touch her anymore. She stopped him from dropping her off at work, as she can afford her own luxury. Tunji continued to bear, struggled and prayed to God to change his wife tirelessly. She ate out, clubbed, and even slept out in most cases. Tunji was totally shut out of her new reality. He only heard from friends back home in the village all the investment the wife had done. People called to congratulate him and telling him they are power couples and wishing to be like them, not knowing what he was going through. After 3 years, no child, no missed periods, Tunji was worried. He approached Damilola and suggested they go for a medical checkup to investigate why she isn't getting pregnant. As usual, Damilola looked at him from head to toe and said, Tunji, do you really expect that I should have a child for you? A factory worker? Like, are you out of your mind? Tunji will just assume he's one of those her temperaments. One day, Tunji confronted her again and said, Damilola, each time I talk about this issue of childlessness, you act as if it is not important. Have you forgotten I'm the only son of my father? I need a child. Dami looked at him again and said, it's like you are not getting it. If you need a child, I'm not stopping you. Go to baby factory and get one. She would respond sarcastically. Tunji felt so helpless with the situation. He couldn't open up to anyone, not even his mom. He drifted apart the moment he legally married Dami. He carried all the burden on his shoulder, while Dami lived and enjoyed her life to the fullest. One weekend, Tunji was cleaning the house as usual. He stumbled into a Ziploc bag that was kept in a very suspicious corner. Out of curiosity, he opened and found out there were a lot of pills. He searched the uses of the drugs and found out they were contraceptives. He shocked to his bone marrows. Damilola has finished me. How could she do this to me? How could she be so cruel and heartless? So she have actually been using pills to prevent pregnancy. The woman I dedicated my heart, my love. She betrayed me this way without remorse. He constantly gazed at his watch, waiting for Damilola to return so she could explain her actions. Unfortunately, Dami didn't return home up to the next morning. In the morning, Dami knocked at the door. Tunji angrily opened the door. Tunji yelled at her as he asked, "Why are you taking preventives despite our agreement of having kids?" Damilola looked at him in total disgust, questioned his guts to stand before her and ask her such a stupid question. In her words, "Tunji, are you alright? You stand before me, a whole cloud manager like me. Wait, you think I could stoop so low to have a child with an ordinary factory worker like you? You must be delusional. I've been telling you this. Go and look for your size, get pregnant and have a child." She cried as she packed all her belongings. Tunji felt remorseful. She called someone over the phone, insisted they should come and rescue her. Tunji tried to stop her as he begged for them to patch things up as normal couples do. Damilola slapped him mercilessly as he attempted to block her way. Before you know it, a very luxury flashy car parked and a handsome middle-aged Canadian man stepped out of the car, helped her with her luggages and zoomed off. Tunji, starstruck, couldn't believe his eyes, speechless for a very long while. Picked up his phone, called his mom. He could barely talk with since after his marriage. He couldn't utter any word. His mom was repeatedly echoing hello as she picked the call. Tunji couldn't speak. The mom was saying, "Hello, sorrow now? Tunji, are you okay?" He was consumed by pains, regrets, and betrayal. Tunji's mom couldn't help but sensed all was not well with her son. She panicked as she called back countless times. Tunji eventually picked, only to weep like a baby. His mother's heart ached as she heard what happened. Tunji opened up about his shattered marriage with Dami ever since she arrived in Canada. His mom encouraged him to muscle up and go to her working place to talk with her no matter what. Tunji did as his mom suggested. First thing in the morning, he drove to the office. He couldn't accomplish his mission as he was told his wife Damilola was already engaged to her Canadian colleague at the office. Tunji struggled to raise his feet. After a while, he summoned courage to confront Damilola. They ended up in serious arguments, which almost resulted to physical fights. Damilola asked him to calculate every dime he spent on her. She cannot cope with him anymore. Tunji instantly developed a heartache that almost led to his death. He started drinking and smoking. Tunji's mom, aware of all that has been going through, approached Damilola's mother to caution her daughter. But she said her daughter knew what is right for her. Love is not a do or die affair. So her daughter is tired of the marriage and she is moving on. Tunji should do the same equally. The two mothers fought dirty and verbally. Damilola refused to return Tunji's documents as she claimed everything must be splitted 50-50. Tunji believed marriage was a bond of love. His dreams were gone, replaced by the struggle to live. He wore a mask of strength, but inside he was dying. And yet he couldn't do anything. Tunji's story is that of broken vow, love and trust. Before you invest in other people, invest in yourself first. It's very